Number 18, find the sum. We'll use our addition rules, which if we have a positive number, 4 1/5, it's an implied plus sign out there, a positive plus a negative, so we have different symbols. We talked in class about how we want to think of our rule as big minus small. So take the bigger absolute value minus the smaller absolute value. The bigger number's symbol wins. Okay, so if we look at these two numbers, 9 1/2 is bigger than 4 1/5. So since 9 1/2 is negative, our final answer is going to be negative. But let's see what that number is going to be. So big minus small. Take the bigger number, 9 1/2, minus the smaller number, 4 1/5. Now there's a lot of ways you can do this. I'll look at it maybe a couple different ways. Let me break it down here. Some people might want to make improper fractions. So we'd have 9 times 2 is 18, plus 1 makes 19. So I'd have 19 halves minus 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 makes 21 fifths. Of course, you can't add or subtract fractions unless you have a common denominator. Least common multiple between 2 and 5 is 10. So to create a 10 here, we'd have to multiply by 5, but you have to do it in the numerator as well. To create an equivalent fraction here, to get 10 in the denominator, we'll multiply by 2, but you have to do it in the numerator as well. So if we rewrite this, 5 times 19, that's going to be 95. 5 times 2 is 10. So I've got 95 tenths minus 21 times 2, that's 42 over 10. And now we can just subtract the numerators. The denominator stays the same. 95 minus 42, that's going to be, what, 53 over 10. And we know 10 goes into 53 5 times. That would make 50. So there'd be a remainder of 3 tenths. So that's one way we can work the problem. But don't forget, the bigger symbol wins. Okay, if we have a smaller number plus a bigger negative, our final answer is going to be negative 5 3/10. Another way to work it is kind of deal with our wholes and our fractional parts. So if we look at our wholes first, let me just take this and slide it over. Okay, let's just focus on the wholes. 9 minus 4. And we know that's 5. Now let's look at our fractional pieces. Again, if we're going to focus on our fractions and take 1/2, let me get my highlighter out here. If we take 1/2 and we subtract 1/5, we need a common denominator. Again, the least common multiple between 2 and 5 is 10. So really we're looking at 1/2 is 5 tenths, minus 1/5 is 2 tenths. 5 tenths minus 2 tenths is 3 tenths. And there we have the same 5 3/10 we had here. But again, the bigger symbol wins. The bigger symbol is negative. So our final answer is going to be negative 5 3/10.